Simon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing very well. I love
Good.
your studio there.
Yeah, it's full of toys, as I call them.
Bet you have a lot of fun in there.
Yeah, well, this is where I do a lot of stuff. A lot of recording and stuff like that happens these days. It's in here. Although you can't really see right here, but this area is just all recording gear and stuff. But yeah, this is my wall of amps and stuff.
Good
There's
collection.
PRS, Marshall, Victory, just all various types of stuff going on there. So
Very nice. Yeah, well, I'm very excited to chat with you. Um,
cool.
really digging your latest release, the cover of Bryan Adams' song,
Yeah.
Kids Wanna Rock.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has a bunch of hits, very memorable songs. What made you choose this one?
Uh, well, when the record company, they wanted me to do a bunch of cover songs just as kind of promo things initially.
Okay.
So it was fine. So I took the task of trying to find songs, and it's always a challenge trying to find a song because I can't even fathom the amount of songs that are in the world right now. So trying to pick one or two is like quite difficult. So I just kind of thought back, look, Kids Wanna Rock. It was the second thing that I ever learned on the guitar when I was a kid. I think the first thing I learned was an AC/DC riff or something, and then the second thing was Kids Wanna Rock. So I went, let's do that one, and it turned out pretty well. I immediately thought, because it's kind of upbeat and fast, I immediately thought, okay, let's bring it more into 2020. By maybe a little bit like Foo Fighters or Queens of Stone Age sort of meets Black Sabbath in a way. So yeah, that's why I chose that song, simply because it was the second thing I ever learned when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
I was a big Bryan Adams fan when I was younger, so I said, why not? It's similar style. It's similar, he's got that kind of, Bryan has that kind of raspy, kind of growly voice, and I sort of have it a little bit, not as good as Bryan, of course, but whatever, so.
I think you definitely were respectful to the original, but yeah, like you said, it definitely has a more modern spin on it.
Well, yeah, I always try to do that with any cover that I do. I don't generally do covers if it's just going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want it to be mediocre.
No, I am just kind of the ultimate perfectionist, so it has to be for me. It has to be. Yeah, obviously, it's never going to be as good as the original because the original is the original. It is what it is. But I always thought it has to at least stand on its own 2 feet, and if you listen to Bryan's version, my version, you have to go, is it as good as that? And you kind of go, well, yeah, it's different, but it's still at the same level. So that's it. But I tried to keep to the original as much as possible, but just tweak it a little bit. And then I always like to add a little bit of me into something. So there's this little middle section what kind of goes into kind of a prog rock kind of a thing. Little off-time guitar part in the middle of it, but yeah, that's just me being me. I have to put Mr. Simon McBride into it all the time. So
yeah, so that's just a taste of your upcoming EP, Trouble. How many other tracks will there be on it?
There's 3 other tracks on it. There is the track called Trouble. Then there's another track it's on the cover by David Gray, which is called Dead in the Water. Then there's a live track from one of my older tracks that I wrote years ago with my band that we recorded live in Chameleon Studios in Hamburg. So yeah, it's generally a 4-track EP. So that'll be out. I think it's October. I think they said it's coming out.
Yeah, I think October 23rd. I read. So 2 months away.
I never know these things until.
Yeah, and this is your debut on Ear Music Records, correct?
Yes, I have a whole album which is ready to go. But obviously 2020 happened and the pandemic happened, so
yeah.
everything's just
on hold right now.
So, we decided to push these little EPs, just push them out, until things sort of get back to normal, which hopefully in 2021 we will be allowed to go out and play live and tour again. But yeah, there's an album coming out next year at some point. But yeah, I have 2 other EPs that were out before this, but they were never really, as he said, the EPs were never really to be for public release. But we at the end of it, we were like, just put them out. Why not? They're good. We might as well get them out there as well. So, and it's no different to what's on the album, really. A lot of stuff, because each track on the EP, like this EP is called Trouble. The last EP was called 100 Days. The one before that was called Show Me How to Love, and they're all tracks which are on the new album anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to say I really enjoyed the Show Me How to Love and 100 Days EPs. Very killer guitar playing on it, and the title track for Show Me How to Love, that's a beautiful song, so I'm glad it's going to be on the album.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be on the album. It's be out next year at some point when
Very cool.
D20 leaves us.
So I heard that you're a big Steve Lukather fan. Actually, the last few concerts I attended before coronavirus were Steve Lukather with his band Toxic Monkey, and then the last tour that Toto did. Amazing guitarist. How did you first get into Steve Lukather's work?
Well, really, since I was a kid, really, I grew up, and my family was always, well, they were musical, but none of my family play any instruments or do anything like that. But my dad was a big music fan. Like, there was always rock music, all different types of music going on in the house. And, Toto was always one of them that was on as well. So at the start, when I started, playing, I never really got into Steve Lukather that much. It was only till I got, a bit older and I started listening to it more and more, and I just started going, this guy is ridiculous.
Yeah, you couldn't really appreciate the work that he did.
Yeah, well, when I started listening to everything that he'd done, and all the session stuff that he plays on, and
it's countless. Like, it's when I went through his discography, I'm like, he's been on everything, all different genres too.
That's true. He's played on lots of songs I don't think he even remembers playing on, because he's
probably not.
I think he had like 10 years of just in LA and that time of being the #1 session guitarist and just getting the call for everything and anything. So, but yeah, no, his playing is, the thing is with Steve, he's got great technique, and he's great, a great player, but it's just his creativeness when it comes to music, not only with guitar, but even with his vocals and it just as a band situation. He's one of these guys I hate. It's like,
more like an envy type thing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's if I had to name my top 2 guitar players, he would be one of them. So.
Have you played the Music Man Luke before? His signature guitar.
Yeah, it's a great guitar. It's I want one, just because it's Lukather's, Well, no, I'm only joking. It's just because it's a really nice guitar. It's really small. It's not.
Yeah, I heard the neck is very light.
I think he's got it made to the point of where it just fits comfortable for him, because I met him a long time ago, and from what I remember, he's not a very tall guy, so he wants.
Oh yeah.
Usually wants something that's kind of smaller and fits for him. Every guitarist is the same. So, but yeah, the thing is, I just love the feel of it. I love the tremolo system on it. I thought it was one of the best tremolo systems I've ever played. It just felt like it wasn't even there. It was just like, it's incredible. But yeah, it's a great guitar. It's I haven't got one, but maybe someday I'll see.
Maybe he'll hook you up with one. But you're currently endorsed by PRS Guitars. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. I've been with PRS for must be 26 years now.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
I know Paul very well. I met him when I was 14 or 15 or maybe younger. I can't remember. So I've been basically doing playing their guitars ever since then. And, it's like I'm part of the family, with PRS. So, people ask me, why don't I play other guitars? And I go, well, I've got the best, so why would I?
Yeah.
It's
There's no reason why to change. Yeah.
my opinion, they're the best. Everybody has their own preference and what sort of guitars and stuff they like. But for me, they just suit what I need to do. So.
Yeah. What would your number one advice be for young guitarists who are kind of struggling with confidence or finding their own sound?
Well, confidence is always a big issue with a lot of players. I know a lot of players who are very hard on themselves when it comes to being creative and stuff, or thinking that they're a terrible player, or maybe they're trying to be somebody else. I think the big thing with confidence is you just got to be yourself. You got to get over that barrier of realizing, hey, I'm me, and that's it. I can't change me. I can't be Steve Lukather. I can't be, Chris Cornell as a singer. I am just me. I'm Simon McBride. And once you get used to that, I think everything else just kind of falls in place, in regards to your confidence wise. And the thing is with confidence, like, there's different things with confidence. You can have it in regards to being a player and what you think of yourself playing, or there's the on-stage factor where confidence plays a big part, where, if you have confidence, you will have no problems getting on stage. But I know some players who have no confidence and they're standing shaking behind the stage. And I'm going, for me, my attitude is I don't care. I'm not arrogant in any way. I just don't care. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I just go, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I'm going to make mistakes. So I don't really mind. Like, I've made some big mistakes and on stage, and we just laugh about them. I play with Don Airy. I make mistakes, so does Don. So we all do it. We're all just human. So I think that's the point with confidence. You just got to relax and just be yourself and not worry what anybody thinks, because everybody's going to have an opinion of what they of you or me or whoever. I just go, yeah, whatever. I think it's good. Do I like it? That's the main thing.
Yeah, like if it's your passion and it makes you happy, that should be all that matters, right?
That's the main thing. I'm doing the best job in the world right now, because I'm just playing music and doing what I want to do, and that's it, And it's funny. I noticed that the confidence thing. With guitar, I've never really had a problem with confidence. I just always just didn't care what people thought of what I did or whatever. It was more the singing, because it's a more personal thing. You're using your own voice from your body to do stuff. So I always tried to change my voice in a way, because I didn't, we don't like if I had a pound or $1 for every person that says I can't sing, I would be, a billionaire by now or more. But everybody can sing. It's getting the hard part is getting used to the sound of your own voice. It's just being you. Once you get past that barrier, you can sing. It's just technique. They're just like playing guitar. It's just techniques. That's all it is. It's how you work them with your inner kind of sound thing, or whatever you want to call it. But so yeah. And that could also be a good thing for young guitarists to come along, is to start singing, because that really builds your confidence. When you step out in front of 6,000 people or whatever, and you open your mouth and talk to them, it's like the confidence just goes away. It's like, so it's a different feeling. But yeah. What was the other question?
I think you kind of covered it. It was like finding their own sound and not trying to, emulate another guitarist.
Yeah, it's just, there's, a lot of players are all trying to be unique. The only way you get to that stage is just be yourself. Just play. Don't, copy, learn of your influences, take what they do, steal it, manipulate it, twist it, turn it, make it your own. And that's how you become you. That's, I'm sure Jeff Beck didn't set out to go, I'm going to play like this. I'm going to play like Jeff Beck in 20 years. He didn't. He just playing away and accidentally coming up with stuff and making mistakes. And that's how it's done. You just making, I have this theory that music is just one big mistake, because nobody sets out to write the greatest song in the world, or, I'm sure, Steve Lukather didn't set out to write Rosanna and go, I'm going to write Rosanna today. He's just like playing around, making mistakes, having a bit of fun. Well, that works. That's kind of cool. It's as long as you're having fun and being yourself, that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. And, inspiration can come from, the smallest things out of nowhere.
Yeah. Inspiration is the strangest thing. It comes from anything and everything, I always say, sometimes I come in here from, and to my studio, and I say, I'm gonna try and write a song today. And maybe I'll sit here for 6 hours and walk out again, very disappointed, going, I did nothing. Right? And then I'll be rushing out the door to catch a plane or something. And I'll have a spark of inspiration from something daft. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. And I'm like, where's my guitar? Oh, I need a guitar to record something, Or you could buy a new guitar pedal or a new amp or whatever, and it just sparks inspiration. But it's mad. It just comes from anywhere, inspiration. So
yeah. Sometimes, when I'm dreaming, I'll remember a little thing that came in my head, and I'm like trying so hard to remember it so I can write it down. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yeah, it's happened to me loads of times. I've wrote the best songs in my sleep, woke up and went, I can't remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think unless you wake up and literally jump out of bed, run, grab a guitar, and just try your hardest, because you know what it's like. So I couldn't tell you what I dreamt about last night. I haven't a clue, But sometimes I do that. Yeah, when you write the greatest song in the world in your dreams. Yeah.
So aside from the upcoming EP, is there anything else that people should look out for?
I have. I'm in the process of finishing an album with Dawn Airy from Deep Purple. So it'll be out at some point. I'm doing some stuff with an old band I used to play for years ago called Sweet Savage. So they have a record coming out as well. But again, this is all going to be 2021. What else? I've did a bunch of instrumentals recently, which I just did at the start of this whole kind of lockdown phase of COVID-19. So I've done that. And people, it's not available for like on normal platforms like iTunes or anything. It's only available through me. It was just something for the fans, really. They could, if they want to donate whatever, 50 pence, it's fine. I'll give them it. So I did. That's the reason I did it. I did it through that. Plus, it was something for me to do. Sitting in the house, bored all the time. I was like, I need something to do. So, what else have I got? I want to. No, that's pretty much it. Everything else I had was tours and stuff, but that's all gone. So.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear the rest of the upcoming EP. And,
it's Trouble, the actual track Trouble. I don't know what order the songs are coming out. I can't remember. But it's the actual song Trouble is a little bit different to Kids Wanna Rock. Kids Wanna Rock is kind of, it is what it is. It's rock stuff. The Trouble is a bit more R&B soul based, which is kind of cool. And then David Gray is a bit more rock with. I always, when I hear the David Gray song, it always reminds me of James Bond for some reason. I don't know why. It's just the chord progression or whatever. But yeah, no, it's. I'm looking forward to seeing what people think of the actual track Trouble to see, because it's mine. I wrote that, so it will be interesting to find out what people's thoughts are on it.
Very cool. Yeah, I kind of like that you kind of have a kind of an eclectic mix of songs, and I know you said you're not. People like to categorize you as a blues rock musician, but you're kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think in today's market, it's there's so many genres or subgenres of subgenre and subgenre of that. It's like
yeah,
I'm just lost in it all. I'm just like, can we not go back to the 70s when it was just rock, pop, blues, classical, jazz, done. You know, now
Yeah.
you go to iTunes, it's just this, whatever. But so I just, you know, I'm just a product of my own influences, and that's it. You know, I just write stuff on based on people that I've listened to over the years, and I don't set out to write a certain type of song. I just do what I want to do, you know, because I find that's where you write the best songs. Is just whatever you feel like writing that day, just do it. You know, if you feel like it's an R&B song, great. If you feel like it's a hard rock song, great. If you feel like it's a blues thing, do it. You know, because the thing is, it's all stuff you can just put in your catalog. So you may not use the R&B song, but you can put it aside and you may use it some other day. You know,
Right.
it's the point of just writing it. Like when I talk to like Don Area, you know, about Gary Moore and stuff, and Gary Moore used to write a song once a day, every day. You know, 365 days of the year. You know, so he
Very
had,
prolific.
yeah, well, he had songs that were nobody will ever hear. You know, there's hundreds of them. You know, and
They're in the vault, as they say.
yeah, well, I think Don has them somewhere, or you know, maybe copies of them. But yeah, they're in. You know, unfortunately, Gary's no longer with us, so you know, who knows? They may come out someday, but we'll see. But yeah, it's just important just to keep writing and just keep it going and stuff. And so I don't. You know, it's funny. I've been labeled different categories over the years. Like when I was in Sweet Savage, when I was like 16 or 17 at the time, I get labeled as this heavy metal rock guitarist. And I couldn't shake that for a long time. Even when I went into the blues thing, I got labeled as a heavy rock guitarist playing blues. Like, and then I just went, oh, stop it, whatever. Because somebody's going to put me in a box. Somebody's going to say, sounds like this, sounds like that. You know, it could be two different boxes. And I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, kind of just ignore them.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's what's going to come out in the music is me. You know, whether it's a rock song or whether it's a pop song or whether it's a, you know, it always sounds like me. And you know, if you're doing an album and it's too diverse, yeah, I get that. You have to maybe change it a little bit and make, you know, stuff that's, you know, if there's 9 rock songs on one jazz song, okay, well, we'll get rid of the jazz one and we'll put like, you know, another rock song in there or something. So I do get it, and you have to make an album, you know, cohesive in that way. But yeah, I just like trying everything, because when you do a different style, you will take from that style and put it into what you do. You know, maybe it's maybe it's a fusion thing, or into, you know, a hard rock thing. You do that. It's like when you look at Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix came from soul music. He played in the Isley Brothers. He took that style, put it in a more rock blues situation, and there you go. There's Hendrix. You know, all that double stop hammer-on thing, that's all soul stuff. You know, he did there, and he just brought it over to the different market. And so that's what you got to do. You just take from everything as well. So there are no categories. It's just music.
Exactly.
It's just one category. Music.
That's very, very true. I really appreciate the time you took with me, Simon.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we sign off?
No, I think that's it. Unless you have anything else to ask, I'm all good.
Great. Yeah, appreciate the time again. And again, I really enjoying the music, so I can't wait to hear the rest.
Cool. So, it'll be all right. So you can always let me know what you think of it.
Well, take care.
All right, you too. See you later.
Bye.